Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you're watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. So, I've got a story coming out from Ukraine that I want to go more in depth with you guys. We talked about this a little bit this morning during our update video for the Russia Ukraine war. And it reads here: Ukraine conducts first successful attack using only robotic systems. Ukraine's military conducted their first ground attack on the front lines using unmanned ground vehicles, or UGVs, and FPV drones, which are first person view drones instead of infantry, destroying Russian military positions. Okay, this story just came out today, and I wanted to go more in depth with this as this is a very big report as Ukraine conducted their very first attack today using only drones, okay? So there was no infantry used at all, and they destroyed Russian positions near the city of Lipsy, I think is what it's called, just a little bit north of Kharkiv in the Kharkiv region. Okay, so this is very big for Ukraine as Ukraine just basically proved they can use drones only in warfare now for the most part. And if they could be successful in this attack, they could probably do this more on the front line, and this will save a lot of their troops. Okay, they won't have to deploy actual manned ground troops. They could just use these drones to start wiping out Russian positions. And this is a very, very big report I want to go over today. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. I have this report from the Kiev Post. Ukraine conducts attack with solely UGVs and FPV drones, destroying Russian positions. Ukraine conducted its first attack using solely UGVs and FPV drones, destroying Russian positions near Lipsy, showcasing technological innovation to counter manpower limits. Yeah, so obviously the Russians have way more manpower than the Ukrainians do, which is why we're seeing so many meat assaults from the Russians on the eastern side of Ukraine. Why also Russia apparently is losing so many men in this fight is they're just throwing, tons of bodies into battle is kind of how this is being reported. And Ukraine is destroying many of them using these drones. And these drones have been used for so long now. Here's a picture of one of these FPV drones in case you're not familiar with what they look like. They're just simple quadcopter drones. Sometimes they attach explosives to them. They even have some larger ones as well that I know they call the Baba Yaga drone. And it carries a large explosive like a grenade, and they'll drop it into, Russian trench positions or some ground troops or destroy vehicles even with them at times. So these drones have proved to be very effective in the fighting against Russia. So it says here Ukraine's armed forces, or AFU, conducted their first ground attack on the front lines using unmanned ground vehicles, or UGVs, and FPV drones instead of infantry, successfully destroying Russian military positions, according to a new report by the Institute for the Study of War, ISW. The attack targeted Russian positions near the village of Lipsy, north of Kharkiv. This was confirmed by the spokesperson for the Karsha, I don't know if it's Karsha or Kartia Brigade of Ukraine's National Guard, Sergeant Vladimir Datyryov, that's kind of a hard one to say, who noted that the operation occurred in the area but did not specify the date. Reports indicate that Ukrainian forces deployed dozens of robotic systems, including unmanned vehicles equipped with machine guns and drones for laying and clearing mines on enemy positions. As a result of the operation, Russian positions were successfully destroyed. Okay, so they're claiming that this operation was successful, and they were able to destroy the Russians in the Kharkiv region, just north of Kharkiv, the city. And it's crazy, too, unmanned vehicles with machine guns. This is starting to seem very futuristic now. And there is some pictures that have come out. We'll take a look at these on X in just a minute. As when we click on these, they don't get very large, but I can make them much larger on X. I'll show those to you guys in just a little bit. Ukrainian officials have repeatedly highlighted Ukraine's efforts to utilize technological innovations and asymmetric strike capabilities to offset Ukraine's manpower limitations, in contrast with Russia's willingness to accept unsustainable casualty rates for marginal territorial gains, the report stated. The report also noted that Ukraine's general staff has completed testing new drones equipped with fiber optic cables, which provide greater resistance to Russian electronic warfare systems. Okay, so imagine that. If these end up being very successful as well with these fiber optic cables, Russia's electronic warfare systems won't be able to take these down, and they'll be even more deadlier than they are right now. Additionally, a Ukrainian company specializing in drone production announced it had developed the first prototype of an FPV drone made entirely from Ukrainian components. Okay, that's very big too. That means Ukraine can produce many of these FPV drones on their own without requiring any Western aid or anything like that, so they can continue to produce these in their own nation. Also, it says here earlier this month, Kiev Post published an exclusive report detailing this fiber optic cable equipped drone. Okay, so I'll link this article in the description of this video. If you guys want to go and check out this video on YouTube, you're more than welcome to, but I'm not going to show it here today. But now we're going to hop on over to X, and I've got a couple things I want to show you guys over here along with these photos that have been released. So here we go. This is from Max24. Ukraine carried out the first attack exclusively with the help of robotic systems, according to the Institute for the Study of War. The attack was carried out near the village of Lipsy, Kharkiv region. AFU used dozens of robotic systems, including UAVs equipped with machine guns, as well as drones to plant and neutralize mines on enemy positions. As a result of the operation, Russian positions were successfully destroyed. Okay, so take a look at these photos here. Looks like their operations as they were watching all the video footage from their different drones, watching the area in the Kharkiv region. Here's a picture of one of these drones, okay? This is one of these unmanned ground vehicles, okay? The UGVs. You can see there's a machine gun, excuse me, a machine gun that is planted on top of this thing. I think there's some other photos that look a little bit closer up. We can see right there, there's a machine gun and the belt of the ammunition going into it, okay? It's not the clearest photo, but check that thing out, okay? It's pretty crazy that Ukraine has been very innovative with these drones and able to even plant machine guns on them. I've even seen a drone one time in the past, a aerial FPV drone that was carrying an AK-47 rifle on it too, okay? So pretty crazy. Here's one more photo up close showing that same drone with that mounted machine gun on top. So isn't that crazy? So one last thing I want to show you guys is in regards to the Russians having to combat these FPV drones, they are also training for them. They're training to evade them. So I wanted to show you this video. It actually came out just about 3 days ago. I wasn't able to show it before on a previous video, but I wanted to pull it up now since we're talking about these FPV drones. So this is from Status 6, Military and Conflict News, Blue Sky 2. Russian soldiers trying to evade FPV drones. So we can see if they're receiving training for these, then obviously it must be a major hassle for the Russian military as they go into battle and they come in contact with these FPV drones, and sometimes the Russians call them birds as well. So look at them training. That's just like 8 seconds long. Okay, so I don't know if this is the most effective way of training, just swinging these on a rope, or I'm not sure if there's some sort of parody or something, but we can see here Russian recruits are training to evade some of these drones, okay? And that's what they'll do. They'll kind of fly in and try to crash them into Russian troops, or the Ukrainians will, that is. So they're trying to practice evading them, clearly showing that obviously they are a major threat for the Russians as they try to invade Ukraine, okay? So I wanted to show you guys that. But definitely a big report coming out today regarding these drones being used, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see more attacks like this from Ukraine. Ukraine will probably be doing this more often now that they were able to prove this to be successful, okay? So expect more operations in the future where Ukraine's going to be using more of these drones, ground vehicles, and aerial FPV drones as well, okay? So let me know what you think of this down below. I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are regarding these drones that Ukraine has been using. So share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.